Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Call Fishing. Alright, today I'm on my way to Lake Lawrence to try and catch my first trout. So this lake is completely new to me, my first time heading there, so I did some research beforehand that I'll share with you guys here. So I decided to try this lake because I was looking at the recently stocked lakes on the WDF website and found that this lake was recently stocked with some jumbo trouts. In case you guys didn't know, the Department of Fish and Wildlife updates their website with stocks the lake within the past 30 days, so you guys can check that and look for lakes that have been stocked. The stock trouts are usually pretty small, but I saw that this lake actually has some pretty big trouts at 0.25 fish per pound, so that's why I decided to give it a shot, see if I can't hook onto any giant jumbo trouts. A little bit about the lake. Lake Lawrence is located in Thurston County and is pretty secluded. It's about an hour and a half drive, depending on how traffic is. Half the drive is in the inside road, so that's why it feels pretty long. But on the bright side, it's a pretty scenic drive. The downside of that is cell reception can be pretty spotty. The lake itself is not too big, at 326 acres. It's a relatively shallow lake, with the deepest part at around 25 feet. But primarily in the 10 to 15 feet range. Public access and the boat ramp is located on the south end of the lake. Parking here is pretty limited, especially for boats with trailers. The hill down to the launch from the parking is quite steep, so keep that in mind if you need to bring your kayak from your car down to the launch. Shore access is pretty limited in this lake, and it's just limited to really the east side of the boat ramp where you'll find the folks fishing from shores. Alright, this is what the parking lot looks like. It does have bathroom accommodation, so that's nice, but I expect this lot to be full on a nice day like this. The parking lot is a lot nicer than Google Map makes it out to be, because it's all paved and cement and not a dirt road. For this trip, I decided to bring out the downrigger again. That was actually not the best idea for this lake. As you saw earlier, this lake is pretty shallow already, averaging around 10 or 15 feet. So really, using a weighted slider rig is much more efficient if you need to get down the water column, as compared to the hassle of using a downrigger, having to reel it back up, put it back down. Especially for trouts, where when they're feeding, they'll be on the top of the water anyway, so flatlining may even be better. So the water of this lake, not the best of clarity, but still a nice day to be out. Can't complain. See fish on the fish finder, so let's hope for some luck. Alright, tried out a bunch of different lures again today, a lot of different setups, from wedding rings to spinning lures, but again, no luck unfortunately. Okay, so look at the rod I'm using here. This is a giant 8'6" medium heavy rod. So this is the combo I typically use for salmon, but I'm using it here for trouts. Definitely not the best idea. One, because it's just a lot more work to deal with, and the other is, even though I do hook up to any fish, with these fish being so small, I would just be dragging it in with this rod, so not really a lot of fun. Also, for the mini downrigger clip I'm using, due to the stiffness of this rod, I can't get a good bend on it without the line coming off the cliff prematurely. Also, with the downrigger deploy, it's just added a lot of unnecessary drag, a lot more work than it's worth for fishing a shallow lake like this. So I was changing up bait every 30 minutes-ish, switching up different colors, different lure types. I tried flatlining it. Yeah, just no luck. I think one reason is I also got out pretty late, got in the water at around midday, and fished until the afternoon. Didn't see a lot of actions while I was out there, but I did hear that some folks were catching fish earlier in the day. So it could just be a timing thing. Or at least that's what I hope anyway. No big deal. Got some good lesson learned. Nice day out in the water again. What's not to like? Alright, let me sum up some analysis and lesson learned for this trip. The drive to this lake is pretty long and parking is limited, so definitely you gotta get here a little bit earlier. And also it seems like the bite was hotter in the morning. And make sure you have navigations ready, especially if you're relying on cell phone signals, since it can be pretty spotty when you get to the lake. A couple of lessons learned today. First is to use a lighter rod and reel setup. I bought my salmon setup today and that was way too big and heavy for this applications. The long rod made it difficult to handle and just makes things more complicated than needed to be. Plus, even if I had hooked up, it wouldn't have been fun with this heavy setup since I'm just dragging the fish in. Next time, I would definitely use an ultralight setup for this type of fishing. The second lesson is to keep it simple, especially for fishing stock trout on a small lake. I didn't really need to come out fully gear up like I'm going for salmons out in the sound. A simple slider rig setup with an ultralight rod combo would have been a lot more efficient and more fun to use. Last is a lesson that I learn every time I go, and that lesson is it's more about the experience than catching fish. Yeah, nothing's ever guaranteed when you go out fishing, so it's best to just have a mindset of you're out here to enjoy nature, enjoy a new spot, enjoy being out in the water. That's why they call it fishing and not catching. I had a great time out in the water, and it was good to be able to explore this lake for the first time. Got some nice fresh air, saw some fish on the fish finder, and got to be on the water on a nice day. What's not to like? Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope we gave you guys some good information on Lake Lawrence if you ever wanted to visit and fish here. It's a nice local lake that's definitely worth exploring if you're in the area. Hope you guys find the content useful. If you do, I would really appreciate it if you guys give this video a like. And let me know in the comments below if you have any recommendations on how I can do better at this lake or just in general. I definitely need all the help I can get because this season has been a struggle. If you guys like video like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'll be getting out and exploring a lot more lakes and hopefully do better as the weather gets warmer. I'll leave the links to some of the gears I use below if you guys are interested. Check them out and let me know if you guys have any different gears or lures recommendation. Thanks everyone for watching this video, and until next time, tight lines.